Hey guys, it's Haley. It's the first time doing a video chat, so bear with me and please make sure you give me some criticism and things that I can improve on. So the book I read this month was The AI Driven Leader by Jeff Woods. I'm going to share some insights of the things that I learned from this book. It's very interesting. I am not tech savvy. I don't enjoy those kind of things, but this book gives me some perspectives that I never thought of, and how to utilize this AI that we're coming into, this AI generation that we're in, to help me become a better leader. So I'm going to talk about some takeaways and things like that. And yeah, so we're going to go from there. This book focuses on how leaders can use AI as a thinking partner, not just a tool, but to become more strategic, more focused, and more effective in how they lead people and run organizations. So a couple things that stood out is what I'll be talking about. But one of the things that stood out the most is that the book isn't really about coming more technical, because that's a hard thing for me. I have a hard time saying, oh yeah, I'm going to do this with technology. It's just not something that clicks with me. But this book makes you realize that it's not just technical. It's about becoming a better leader by improving the way we think, decide, and prioritize. And that is what AI should be helping you do as you are on your journey to become a better leader. So one of the takeaways that I had from this book was AI is a thinking partner, not a replacement for leadership. And that's a lot of mistakes I think here lately that people make about, oh, well, this project's due, let me just type it into ChatGPT and it'll do it for me. This book really talks about how that's not what AI should be doing. And I'll be talking about one of the points that I had to take away from, and it talked about ultimately leadership is still human, and human is what's still needed to be able to lead properly. And we'll kind of go through that in just a moment. But one of the foundational ideas that Mr. Woods presents is that AI is not meant to replace leaders. It's meant to embrace decision-making and clarity. A key principle in the book is that leaders often get stuck in the doing instead of the thinking of leadership. And AI helps create a space for better thinking. So what do I mean by that? The idea is that leaders should use AI to clarify problems faster, explore blind spots, challenge assumptions, and think at a higher strategic level. And that's what it should be helping you do. What stood out to me is this shift. Leadership is not about having more information. It's about making better sense of information. And that's what one of the things I took away was all of our brains don't work the same. And there is some situations where my brain would work a certain way, and I'm going to kind of get stuck in the way that my thought process is. And ChatGPT is supposed, or any AI that we use, is supposed to be able to be that partner of a different thought process of, hey, challenge me to do this. Hey, challenge me to do this. Ask me different questions that ultimately my leadership style would never ask. And that's what it kind of talks about there. So the application for Chick-fil-A that I think that I could do in my role, and that would be extremely valuable, is labor and staffing decisions that can help me determine on a different side of a thought process, guest experience trends, speed and accuracy matrix, and team performance patterns. Instead of reacting to numbers or shift outcomes, I can use tools and structured thinking to ask better questions, like what is actually driving this issue? What am I missing? What is a pattern that I can't see? Those kind of things. This helps me move from reactive leadership to intentional leadership. So the next takeaway that I took, there's about 3 of them that I'm going to speak on, is that leaders' job is to focus on what matters most. This means it emphasizes the biggest threat to leaders today is not the lack of effort, it's distraction. And so we often get pulled to do into urgent problems, small operational issues, constant decision fatigue, and reactive correction or reactive firefighting, as he says. The book challenges leaders to step back and define what actually matters most. So this is what AI can help you identify. It identifies what deserves attention, what can be delegated, and what is noise versus signal. It reinforces the idea that not everything is urgent. Not everything urgent is important. And sometimes as a human, we get into situations and we're like, prioritize, prioritize, prioritize. Whereas AI, if you used it as a partner and explained what was going on, it can help you prioritize the things that actually need to be corrected and things that would actually create a pattern that we don't want. So the third takeaway that I had was better questions lead to better leadership. So a major message throughout the book is that leadership quality is defined by the quality of questions leaders ask. So it emphasizes that AI is powerful because it helps leaders do the following things. It helps us ask deeper questions, see different perspectives, and uncover blind spots that wouldn't naturally consider. And that's something that I don't do. I don't naturally consider certain ideas, as you guys can tell. That's no surprise there. But AI helps you do that. And that's why I think it's important to start integrating some of these kind of things into my leadership. The core idea is simple. Better questions create better decisions. So I said 3, but there's many other takeaways that I've had from this book. And another one was from reactive leadership to strategic leadership. This is probably one of the strongest themes that the AI-driven leader book talks about, is the difference between reactive and strategic leadership. So reactive leaders, they solve problems as they appear, they get pulled into urgency, they focus on short-term fixes. A strategic leader looks for patterns, thinks ahead, uses systems and tools to reduce repeated problems, and then they spend more time on high-impact decisions. The book emphasizes that AI helps bridge this gap by giving leaders more clarity and structure in their thinking. So we can be both kind of leaders, and some people lead certain ways. Some people lean towards reactive, some people lean towards strategic, and AI is supposed to be there to help bridge the gap in between those two to make you a full-rounded leader. And I just thought that was really interesting to think about, because sometimes I get pulled different ways, and I've utilized AI to help me focus on the important things and help me focus on the patterns that I should see, rather than just reacting to a decision to fix it and be like, okay, there we go. So that's one thing that I would take from this book as well. Another thing is leadership still comes back to people. So I talked about this in the beginning. Although we're in a generation where AI is important, ultimately leadership is human. AI cannot create trust. They cannot develop people, and they cannot create culture. So, but they can improve clarity, speed up thinking, organize information, and help support decision making. So the thing that I took most from this book was change is a must. Change is something we have to do. Change is something that just comes naturally, and we have to be okay with it. The way that we take change and the way that we develop ourselves is what we can control. And ultimately, what I got from this book is, yes, AI is a thing, and AI is there to help me. AI is not there to lead, because AI can't lead people. AI can assist, but ultimately humans are the only ones that can lead and lead well. And so that responsibility still belongs to that leader. So closing reflection is, the future of leadership is not about working harder. It's about thinking better. It challenges you to slow down mentally, even in fast environments, so that we can ask better questions, focus on what truly matters, and lead more intentionally rather than reactively. Ultimately, this book reinforces that strong leadership is not about having all the answers. It's about building to think clearly and act intentionally and lead people well in a constantly changing environment. So yeah, if you've not read this book, you really should. It's a great read, especially for people that are executing and don't like change. And that's me. And so yeah, I would suggest it for anybody. Thank you guys for your time, and see you later.